Okay, so we've had a wild couple of weeks here in Beyond Meat Stock. You guys know that on the main channel, Positive Investing, this is one of the most bullish stocks that I've talked about. I personally own this stock. I have a big stake in this stock. I believe the future of this company is going to be monstrous, and I think today at a $10.5 billion market cap, it's still severely undervalued. But what I want to do in this video is actually go through a timeline of over the last week of news that's hit around the stock, directly related to the stock, that's caused it to go from, the 130s, 140s, all the way up to over 200, and now it's back to like around 160, 170. So this is a volatile name. This has been moving a lot, and I want to really clarify a few things and kind of give you my stance and my thoughts on some of the news that's been released recently. So you want to stick around for this video if you are a shareholder of Beyond Meat or you're interested in buying this stock today. So start us off. I have a charts opened here. Over the last month, this is insane, guys. We've gone from 120 to like $200 per share. So like the stock is up massive, like 52% in less than a month. Now we're sitting at around 34% after the pullback, but still incredible performance. Congratulations to anyone that got in, over the last little while. The stock after earnings dropped 20%. I was a buyer of the stock, around here. So when I first started building up my position around August timeframe, let it run. Okay, that was great. I was like, okay, this is going up to 200. Great. Then some selling started, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna buy some more. Then earnings, and then a lot of stuff going on with the stock, a lot of negative news here and there. I've been a buyer over this last 6 months or so. Okay, and my average cost basis, I believe, is in the I believe it's probably entered the 130s now, like the low 130s, because I did also average in at around like the 160 price range. Anyways, last week we got news that Pepsi and Beyond Meat have teamed up to make plant-based foods and drinks, and this is massive. I made a dedicated video on this already, but just as a summary, this is going to pretty much open up a new venture here for Beyond Meat to kind of enter a new customer base where people are going out there for snacks and drinks, and they see the Beyond Meat logo. They know that's associated with healthy foods, with cleaner foods, with more, environmentally friendly foods, because they don't use animals, they use plant-based stuff. And hey, this will actually help them grow, in my opinion. And then teaming up with Pepsi, it's going to help them in distribution, scale, all that kind of stuff. So this is a win-win situation. Pepsi gets to benefit from a new upcoming brand, and Beyond Meat gets to benefit from their distribution. So this was great news, and this was actually what caused the stock to pop to over 200 per share last week. A lot of you guys made a lot of money on this. A lot of you closed your positions out. Can't blame you. That was a good run. But I personally did not close any of my stock out. I still hold onto this stock. Now, this week on Feb 1st, we got McDonald's come out and say that they're starting to distribute and test out their McPlant burgers in select European markets. So specifically, they're actually testing it out in Denmark and Sweden, and they're kind of monitoring it to see how things do before they, do a broad-based rollout. The McPlant sandwich was co-developed with Beyond Meat. Now this, I don't know, there's a lot of conflicting reports, so I'm still trying to dig deeper into this, but from my understanding, this was actually not confirmed by either party. Beyond Meat pretty much said that you gotta wait for McDonald's to confirm it one way or another, but it looks like most people are just assuming that this is true. I don't know. Maybe I missed something, guys. Let me know in the comments if I did. But as far as I understand, this was all kind of rumors. And now this article is kind of making it seem like it's true. It's already happened. I don't know. I got to do some more digging on that to confirm. But I'd love to hear from you on that. Anyways, this is kind of a good step in the right direction. McPlant has kind of been scheduled for 2021. And it's good to see them start to roll this out early in the year so that by late in the year, this will be in much broader markets, larger markets, and that hopefully if Beyond Meat is the actual code developer, will benefit massively from this. Now, after this was done, okay, great. This is more good news for the stock, right? And then yesterday we got hit with some big news here that Impossible Foods aims to be at price parity with regular meat. Now, Impossible Foods, one of the biggest competitors, probably the biggest competitor to Beyond Meat when you're looking at pure plant-based protein. They pretty much said that they plan to cut their prices by 20% at grocery stores to compete with regular meat. Now, indirectly, This means that Beyond Meat now, if they want to stay competitive, will also need to do something like this. Now, in previous interviews, I watched a bunch of them with Ethan Brown, the CEO. He said that his goal, when is it, like a year or two ago, was to make the prices of the Beyond Meat products on par, if not cheaper than beef. So now we're kind of like a couple years in, but a lot has changed, right? 2020 was a big year for this business. They had to pivot a lot of stuff. A lot of costs came up that were unexpected. So things are kind of out of whack. Plus, they're expanding so massively around the world with thousands of partners and restaurant chains everywhere you go. So this business is it's a much larger operation than Impossible Foods is, at least right now. So Impossible Foods maybe just be putting the pressure here on Beyond Meat just to like kind of get a little bit more market share, get people to try their product before they try Beyond's product. And, that's a good approach for them. But I think that, honestly, this is kind of a non-issue right now. This is how I see it, okay? So Beyond Meat has the brand behind it. Beyond Meat has a loyal customer base that's still paying a premium for their product, right? And when Beyond Meat does, in fact, compete here and lower their prices to match Impossible Foods and beef, and guess what? That's going to open up a whole new user base. And that's going to be a whole supply problem for Beyond Meat. That's just my opinion on it. Now, if they're able to actually scale into this and be prepared for that massive demand, then that'll be even better for the company. Impossible Foods may just shoot themselves in the foot here, because if they do this move and they don't really increase sales, that's going to look really bad on the company. So I don't know. There's pros and cons to this. Of course, for the consumers, this is a pro. But as an investor, I don't know. I feel like the Beyond's approach is the better approach. They're kind of working their way down from the market, from being more premium to more, upper class to more middle class. And that's kind of what they're doing here. And I think over time, that will actually pay off better for them than what Impossible Foods is doing. Next piece of news. People are saying that Beyond Meat could be under pressure to make price cuts. This is just exactly what I talked about here. I don't know. You could make an argument either way. I think in the end, yes, Beyond Meat does need to be on par with beef, with their competitors. In fact, they need to actually beat them out if they want the mass population to really go out there and purchase their products. But at the scale they're growing right now, these guys are growing at like 40-50% year over year, but they're still seen as kind of a more expensive premium product. So I don't think that this is really necessary right now, but we'll wait and see how that plays out. The last piece of news I want to touch upon is this underperform rating from Davidson. So Davidson, which is a firm, came and they cut Beyond Meat's price target to underperform from a neutral, and they say that the recent rally that we've seen, remember this massive one right here, they believe that that's kind of overdone. So they say that scanner data indicates deceleration at the retail level, and investors are getting a bit too optimistic on what the actual fundamentals may be. And hey, I don't really agree with this, but we don't really know for sure what the facts are. This is just some data that they got. I'm sure there's some truth behind it, but I think that, investors are looking much more forward for this company. Investors are looking a few years out for this business. You're not looking at Beyond Meat today at a $10 billion market cap. So think about it this way, right? Right now, Beyond Meat, their revenues for 2020 expect to be around 400 million. Next year, around 600 million, right? 50% increase year over year. With the $600 million revenue target, their market cap is around $10 billion. And sure, maybe it's a billion or two overvalued. Some cases you can make that argument. Perhaps I don't agree with it, but you could make that argument. Let's just say, sure, it's a couple of $1 billion overvalued, right? Ethan Brown's goal over the long term is to get Beyond Meat's market cap from this 600 million to over 40 billion. That is his ambition. That is what he's going for. That's his end game. $40 billion is what he wants this business to pull in on an annual basis. And if you look at that, and if you actually believe this is a long-term investment and long-term winner, like what I'm doing with my shares, today's market cap of $10 billion is cheap. Now, I know I'm paying many, many years in advance. I'm paying a premium at today's prices, but this is similar to what I saw happen with Tesla. Tesla was seen as, $40 billion market cap. Are you crazy? That's an expensive business. And I was like, that's dirt cheap for what they're going to be doing in the future. And I bought it. And I'm ready to hold that stock for many decades to come. And I think Beyond Meat kind of fits in that same bucket. Investors, analysts, everyone's really focused right now on this business. But you can see this company just waits to break out on good news. Any good news, it can pop 20-30%. Guys, I think that the future for this business is much stronger than what analysts want you to believe. I think that this business, you know, it's going to be a long-term winner. It's going to be one of the best winners in my portfolio. That's just my opinion, not financial advice. But, you know, with all the news I just presented to you, let me know if it's changed your mind on Beyond Meat. Does it make you more bearish on this company, more bullish? Love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below, guys. But either way, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to invest positively, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.